I think that's a great point. Communication is definitely one of the key things that everybody, especially new people who have just started their career, should focus on. One is be open to change. Okay, never be in your comfort zone. Whenever there is an opportunity, just be open and grab it. That will take you place.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Sapiens podcast, where we uncover strategies, insights, and stories of successful professionals from diverse fields to help you navigate your career journey. I'm Reet, your host for today's podcast, and today we have Judhajit Sarkar with us. So, Judhajit is an operation manager at JP Morgan Chase and Company for almost 2 years and has prior experience with HSBC for 11 years in banking and operations, specializing in team and stakeholder management, innovation and transformation, and audit and risk management. He is passionate about mentoring and coaching people, and he is here to share his journey and insight with us. Welcome to the show, Judahit. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much, Reet. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm also. Could you start by sharing a bit about your professional journey so far and what led you to pursue a career in banking and operation?
Well, honestly, I started my career with HSBC just after I graduated. So I did my graduation in commerce, in accounts honors. So it was the only sector that I wanted to go after I completed my education in finance. So I was based out of Calcutta, and in Calcutta, HSBC is one of the top banking organizations, right? So I just thought, that was my dream company to begin my career with. So I applied there and I got through, and that's how my journey with HSBC started. Uh, I spent around 11 years with HSBC, and throughout my journey, obviously, I've been through a lot of different processes, different teams, some great learnings. And uh, do you want to know about where I started my career? Like
Yes, yes.
which process? So basically, I started my career with card services. So like every bank gives you a card, right? So I started my career with the card services department in HSBC, and there we used to take the complaints of customers, right? So that's how I started my career, and obviously eventually I moved across different teams uh, with time.
That's great to know. So you have, like you mentioned that you have worked with 11 years with HSBC, so almost over a decade of experience in the banking sector. So can you share also that how your roles have evolved over these years, like since the time you started your career in the HSBC and now at your current role at JP Morgan? So how these roles have transitioned?
Well, as I said, I started my career with card services with HSBC, and post couple of years, so I was transferred to a different location, due to requirements. I was in Vizag for 2.5 years, taking care of the card services. So I wanted to come back to my hometown, which is Kolkata, and that's when I actually applied to different processes to take, we call it IJPs, internal job prospects. So through that, I applied to commercial banking, and that's where I cracked it, and I got an opportunity to come back to my hometown and join a new team, which was commercial banking. So what we usually do for commercial banking is, we lend to our customers who are business customers, like you say, B2B, like that, to in a layman term. So we lend to all the. I'll just give an example to you. For example, we are lending to Tata, right? Because they need money for their manufacturing, for marketing, and so on and so forth. So we only lend to big businesses in commercial banking. So that is the department I actually joined, post card services. And since then, I have been with commercial banking itself. Okay, so it's been almost 10 years now in commercial banking. Uh, so that's how, uh, it started.
That's great. So, like in your role at JP Morgan, it is mentioned that you are operation manager at JP Morgan currently.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So, how did you enter into like operations? Can you tell us more about your current role as an operation manager at JP Morgan and what is? I know you can't go into detail, but if you could give an overview of what does your day-to-day work involve?
Sure. Before answering that, Preet, I'll just take a step back. So as I said, I joined card services as a analyst, wherein I used to take complaints and I used to resolve the customer complaints through which they used to face through cards, right? So there I used to be a team member. I used to handle the complaints and resolve, give solutions to the customer. Post I moved to commercial banking, uh, where we lend the big businesses. There also it was like an end-to-end service that we provide. Like if you consider any bank who gives a loan, if you have taken a loan which can be a personal loan or a car loan or a house loan, what is the end-to-end journey of it? It's like you go to a bank, you ask for a loan, they check your credit score, and then they ask you if you're good with if your scores are good, then they will ask you, okay, this is the amount that we can lend you, right? And if you're okay, then you do certain documentation, and then finally your signatures are done. There's a contract that happens. Interests are uh, given to you that this is the rate of interest that you'll be charged. This is the EMI, monthly EMI, and then you get the funds, right? So that is what exactly happens when you take a loan. It's absolutely similar, right? It's just that we are talking about a personal loan where an individual goes ahead and asks for a loan. But here in commercial banking, we are looking for businesses who wants loan,
Yeah.
right?
So you like,
But
yeah.
the journey is same, right?
Similarly, the
So
example that you gave of Tata, like you are lending to the businesses.
absolutely. So that's what we do in commercial banking. And when I joined commercial banking back in 2014, uh, I was also a team member there, right? I used to do the back-end operations end to end. It can be checking the credit scores of the customer, uh, if we are good to lend that customer or not, uh, track record. Then we do the documentation, like prepare the document, prepare the contract, send it to the customer for signature. Then we get the signed document back, and then we would go ahead and you know fund the customer. So that's the journey, just like any other loan. So I was a team member there, and eventually, obviously, I grew within that team. I got a team to manage, and then as an assistant manager, a small team. So I started doing that, and then eventually I also got elevated to the next level, which is managing a bigger team as a manager, operations. And around 2020, around 2021, I was looking for a change because I was in commercial banking with HSBC for quite some time, then almost 6 7 years, and I wanted to try something new, something different. Though my expertise was in commercial banking, I wanted to stick to that. So that's when JP Morgan happened. I applied. I was looking for some change, and you know, grateful that such a big organization like JP Morgan gave me that opportunity to join them and work with them. But coming back to your question, that what exactly we do, right? That was your question in our day-to-day operations. So it's similar to what I just explained. You know, in JP Morgan also, I'm in commercial banking, so it's similar to what we do, what I used to do in HSBC, to have a lending services to all the businesses, and the journey remains pretty much same. It's again the same, checking the credit scores, if you can lend the customer, and then do the documentation, and finally servicing the customer in terms of funding. And also, when a customer takes a loan, they would also require loan for a certain time, It's not like that I'm giving you a loan and it's done, right? So a business, especially, they would also need loans. They might need loans every month or on a periodic manner, right? So we do that servicing as well. Commercial banking does servicing as well, right? So you want a loan of 2 million, for example, and these are all US customers, right? So it's all dollars. So if you want a loan of 2 million, but you want it in parts, right? So we would do that servicing, and we would also do the servicing in terms of taking back the money with interest from the customers. So all that servicing part is also taken care by the commercial banking department.
Yeah, so basically the entire process of lending to recovering that money in the B2B sector is all
Absolutely.
commercial banking is about. So if you would recommend that, what skills and knowledge do you think are essential for someone who is looking to build a career in banking operations?
So first and foremost, Reet, to get into banking operations, you have to have a finance background, right? Uh, somebody can just be a graduate like me. I don't have a postgraduate yet, though I have plans to. But somebody can just be a graduate in commerce, right, and get into and start their career in banking. Somebody can have a MBA or a postgraduate in commerce and finance. So that's the first and foremost thing that anybody needs to do to join a banking sector. You can't do mass communication and join a bank, right, in finance. So that's something that you can't do. We have to have some sort of an education background, some sort of specialization in finance and commerce to join a bank. That's the first and foremost thing. So once you do that, uh, in terms of becoming a manager, operations, and again, banking is huge. It's not that it's only has operations. I am in operations. There's a lot of things in banking. Somebody can be in an analytics, right? Somebody can be in some other department like HR. So there's a lot of things in banking, right? It's not just operations. It's just that I'm part of operations. And to become a manager, you have to have a journey. You can't directly become manager. Like I went through a journey. It's been a decade. So first I joined as a team member. You learn the process. You gain that expertise. You gain that maturity, and that's how you eventually grow. You go to the next level and next, and then you grow to become a manager and manage probably a team of 30, 40 people, right? So that journey needs to happen. If you are starting, I'm talking about starters, who's just starting their career. So the journey needs to definitely happen after they complete their education.
So like it's a long journey and you need to achieve different milestones in becoming the operation manager. So like that brings me
Absolutely.
to the next question. The first step is to get a degree in finance sector. So what happens mainly is people who come from mass comm, they mostly join, if they want to enter the finance sector, they go for postgrad and they do MBA. If they are majoring in finance, so apart from their academic curriculum, is there any course or anything that skill that they should acquire if they are targeting this particular role?
See, if somebody is already in finance, has a finance background, it becomes very easy for them because they have that kind of skill set, which is required for a banking sector. But if somebody is from a different background and they want to enter a banking sector, then definitely, as you said, they have to do some sort of a course or specialization, and then only they can, get through a banking uh, organization, right? Because they will also look for somebody with that particular skill set. And as I said, it's not just operations; it is way beyond that. Nowadays, so much talks about AI and ML, right? So there's so much talks about analytics. Banking is definitely one of the sectors where AI, ML, analytics is very much growing, right? So for suppose somebody has done mass communication, but they now want to change their domain and they want to get into banking and they are interested in uh, AI, ML, or analytics for that matter, because these things are also required in banking. It's just growing with time. So they can do courses which will give them that expertise and knowledge in for example an AI or analytics, right? So that's what I was trying to tell you, that it's not just operations. I am into day-to-day operations, servicing the customer, but there's a lot of things happening at the back end as well. So we use a lot of applications, right? So how can we make those applications better, right? Banking is all about data, right? It's all about numbers. So a lot of reportings, right? So analytics can play a big role there. Somebody can take up a course in analytics and join a banking sector where they analyze the data and the numbers, to help the operations team, to help us. Okay, so there are a lot of things. It's not just operations. There are a lot of things that people can take up, learn, uh, get those skill sets in terms of education and courses, and they can join banking sector.
So like having taking up analytics is also a way to enter into a banking sector and to get into these kind of roles.
Absolutely.
So and I'm sure that this journey that you have of almost 12 years must not have been easy. So if you could share some of the biggest challenges that you have faced in your career and how did you overcome those?
Uh, so I won't call it challenge. Definitely, I mean, every road will have some thorn, and you can't walk easy, right? There will be things that will be challenging, but I personally feel that I will talk about this, but I will not name it as a challenge. But this is something that everybody should go through to grow in any sector, not only banking, is change. Be open to change. So the reason why I think whatever I gained in terms of knowledge and expertise is because I was open to change always, right? So I moved cities, I moved different teams, I moved different processes whenever I got an opportunity. I never stepped back thinking that no, I'm good, whatever I'm doing, and let me just do this. I'm comfortable. So I never thought like that, and that really helped me in my career, to grow. So I think that is definitely one of the things. As I said, I'll not name it as a challenge, but it's not easy. But whoever accepts it with open hands and thrives in it, I think they will. That's something that I did in my career, which really helped me.
So continuous improvement and upskilling is a must if you want to grow in any.
Absolutely.
You mentioned earlier about AI/ML also, that it is also being used extensively in the banking industry. So how do you see that these AI/ML and all these technologies changing the future operations in the banking industry? Like the roles changing, the jobs that people used to have earlier in the banking sector, how are they going to be shaped in the future? Like what those roles are going to be in future?
Definitely. I mean, a lot of things that's already changing is changed and will further change with time. I think 2030, by 2030, we'll see a different ball game altogether. And it's everywhere. It's not just banking, but if I talk about banking specifically, for sure, AI, ML, robotics, everything is going to change how things happen today and how things used to happen in the past. I've been part of one of the uh, couple of journeys where I uh, since I'm in operations, I don't build products, but I've worked closely with the technical people who have built different products that helped us in terms of servicing the customers. And I've seen how easy it becomes, not only for the operations team like us who's servicing the customer, but also for the customer, who gets better and better quality, better efficient services. So that's definitely not going anywhere, and it's only going to grow. A lot of focus on those areas of AI and ML, and yeah, I think It's just going to grow with time and make things even better. But if you talk about how can we leverage that, we definitely need to upskill ourselves. I, being into operations, I don't know technology. I don't know the technical aspect of it, but we should at least have a background. As operations people, we should have a background of what these things are, how they function. Okay, what are the different products in AI/ML? There are different products that can be used to make things efficient, right? So we should have a fair idea of those products. So those are the things that we should upskill ourselves. And if somebody is more interested to actually build products, then they have to do courses like we discussed earlier. Like they have to learn machine learning, right? You don't need to learn machine learning being in back-end operations. We are people who service the customer, right? But the things that we use in terms of servicing the customer, that is where we need to collaborate with the technical people to build those products. Because they will build it, but they need assistance from us who would help them to tell them, okay, this is what we need, this is what we do, okay, this is what we are looking to have, and it's a synergy, that makes it happen. But we need to definitely have a background of it, just an understanding, an overview, high level. Otherwise, it becomes difficult, right? So that is something that even I work on to build that kind of an expertise, being in operations.
So it's important to have a background and also to have good communication skills so that you can create the synergy with the technical team and you can communicate well them the requirements. So
Absolutely, I think that's a great. I'm sorry to interrupt. That's a great point, Reet. You mentioned communication. I think we haven't spoken about it much, but I think that's something that is really important if you are looking to grow. Again, any sector, but if I just talk about my banking sector because I've been through it in and out, I think that's one of the key things that I also talk to a lot of my team members, that you need to learn how to communicate, and it's just not how you talk. It's how you convince. Make it's how you make your presence felt. All that is very much important. I think that's a great point. Communication is definitely one of the key things that everybody, especially new people who have just started their career, should focus on, because that makes a difference. You know, peop 10 people will know how to work a particular thing. But these are the things, not all 10 people will be same in how they speak or how they communicate. How is their convincing skill? How is their presentation skill? So those are the things that make a difference. So definitely, soft skill is definitely one of the key things people should focus and spend time on growing.
thanks a lot for sharing your tips on the communication aspect. I'm sure our audience will benefit a lot from it. So, like, you are also passionate about mentoring and coaching. You have mentioned it in your LinkedIn. So, how important is mentoring in banking industry, or what advice would you give to someone who is seeking a mentor in the bank to enter into any industry? So, what they should look for, and yeah, if you could share something about that.
Sure, sure. So mentorship is very important, at least for me, because I have had some great mentors in my career, which has been of really good help, which has helped me grow as not only as a professional but as an individual as well. So I think mentorship is really important, and we need to choose our mentors. You know, it's not that you can go to anybody and you can go to 100 people and learn something from them. Yes, you can definitely learn things from different people, but you should have certain mentors whom you can go up to for anything and everything. That is for suggestions, for anything, for learning something new, for guidance. That is very important. And I have been lucky to have certain good mentors in my career who has really helped me. And uh, that's when I actually learned that, okay, even I can make a difference in somebody else's life. Like somebody else made a difference in my career, even I can do that. So that really made me think about it, and I became really passionate about it with time. I feel people is key, for any organization. If I have to run my team, if I have to run my business, I have to make sure my people are happy. I have to make sure my people are satisfied. Otherwise they'll not have a good frame of mind to come and work and deliver. So they have to be at their best, and to make them be at their best, uh, my role comes into picture. And all these things is that I've learned from my mentors, right, with time. So that's the reason why you said you read that in my LinkedIn, that I'm passionate about mentoring and coaching, and I'm passionate about people overall, is because I really am, because I feel that people is the backbone of any organization. And since I'm a people manager, I that's my day in and day out job, to make sure my people are in good mindset. They know what they are doing. They know where they're heading towards, their goals. Uh, I know what they are looking for from me, so that I can help them reach those goals. So, and it's not that it's my job, it something that makes me happy whenever I, you know, coach somebody or mentor somebody, I see them delivering and growing for that, even if that helps them for with 5%, that really makes me happy and satisfied. So yeah, that's the reason why mentoring and coaching is so close to me, and people is so close to me, and I'm so passionate about it.
Like the way your people feel about the organization really represents that the culture of that organization.
Absolutely
So, do you have
true.
any final piece of advice to or suggestion to our listeners who are aspiring to build a career in banking and operation? If you could have like any suggestion for them.
So suggestion is, I would say again, couple of things. One is be open to change. Okay, never be in your comfort zone. Whenever there's an opportunity, just be open and grab it. That will take you places. If you don't take that, you will never be able to move ahead. So you have to take that risk, and you have to have that approach of, because we tend to take a backseat at times, thinking that we are good, we are comfortable, but that is where somebody else is going to grab that opportunity and go ahead. So if not used, there will be somebody else always. So that's definitely one of the suggestions that I would want to give, to be open to change. And the other one is definitely learning new things, learning new skills, uh, as per your wish and as per your want. It's not that AI and ML is growing, so I have to learn AI and ML. It's not like that. It depends on what you want. It depends on what makes you happy, what makes you satisfied, what is your interest. So there are a lot of things that you can learn, and you can grow through. So you need to be clear in your head what you want, and you need to keep upskilling yourself in those lines. So if I want to uh, better myself as a people person, then I will want to take some course or some management skills, where I would learn more about people and how to manage people, how to manage critical situations, and so on and so forth. So if that makes me satisfied, and if that is my interest, I would do that. If I want to learn AI and ML because that is my interest, then I would take some course or maybe some management in those lines. So it's about what interests you, and that's where you need to keep on upskilling yourself. Okay,
It's
so it's
important
not
to
any specific thing.
yeah. So it's important to know like where you want to go and to be clear of what your where your interests lie, and then upskilling yourself in that field. Thank you so much, Judhajit, for sharing your valuable insights and experience with us today. It's been a pleasure to have you here with us. And to our listeners, we hope you found this episode informative and inspiring. And stay tuned for even more enriching stories. And see you until next time.